Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right into our topics, shall we? Starting off with our game news topics of the day. So, Nintendo had their Nintendo Indie World announcements. They did their showcase, and here are all the games that have been announced for that showcase. Now, mind you, I am dyslexic and I can't read very well, so go figure. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these games. Starting with Mina the Howler. We have Well Dweller, Neverway, Hurtling. Is this seat taken? Little Kitty, Big City. That's a cool title. Content warning. Ball X Pit. Ultimate Sheep Recon Raccoon, sorry. Glaciered. Jesus Christ, my freaking mind. Winter Burrow. Undusted Letters from the Past. Tiny Bookshop. Caves of Cued? Quode? Go Cued. Uh, Strange Antiquities. Opus Prime Break. Go Go Town. UFO 50. And Demon's School. So if you guys are interested in any of these, I'm going to have a link to this article in the description down below. So if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at these trailers, I didn't want to go through either of them because that would have probably been, or any of them, because that would have probably been our whole show, and you guys wouldn't have been able to hear anything because YouTube's a bit of a bitch because it doesn't allow us to review things, especially if there's music involved. So if you guys are interested in any of these, and if you did check out the showcase, what game interests you the most? Forgive me, guys. I'm putting my phone here on mute because people are trying to call me. So, what did you guys think of these games? Is there anyone that stands out to you? Is there anyone that you're gonna buy for sure? Let me know what you guys thought of these indie games from the Nintendo uh, Indie World Showcase. Moving on to our next topic of the day. It looks like Lost Souls Aside has gone gold. Now, if you don't know what that means in the game industry, when a game has gone gold, that essentially means that they got their final copy of it ready to go. They're already putting it on discs. It's good to go and ship, and things are looking to be released right on schedule. So this game looks to be coming out on August 29th. So everything seems to be good for this RPG coming to PC and PlayStation 5. The graphics look phenomenal, so I'm very interested in checking out what this game is going to be and what everything is going to look like. And yeah, it's officially gone gold, guys. So if you're excited for Lost Souls Aside, get prepared for the game to be released on schedule with no delays, which is rare in this time of gaming industry where everything gets delayed or pushed or something's going on the back end that we don't know about. So it's nice to see a game finally get everything in order and actually go gold on a timely manner and on schedule. So that's nice to get. But let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be checking out Lost Souls Aside? And are you happy that it's gone gold and you're not seeing any issues with that? We'll see what the game releases. Hopefully, it doesn't do what Cyberpunk 2077 did. We'll see. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day, it looks like Sony has reached a new milestone. PlayStation 5 has sold over 80 million units since its release. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article. Kind of does a bit of a breakdown. Now, 80 million units is only half of what the PlayStation 2 sold, but the PlayStation 2 was a different era. Excuse me, guys. Was a different era and different time, so nothing crazy like that. They also said that they saw an uptick in digital sales for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 in this past quarter of the year, so that's a great thing for them. But 80 million units sold, while it's not on the super high numbers as far as the PlayStation 2 was, which is 160 million units. But it is successful for what the PlayStation 5 is doing for its price point. So congratulations to them for making it to this nice little milestone. What do you guys think? Are you excited that it sold 80 million units? Were you expecting it to do better, or are you expecting it to do worse? And what do you think is going to happen in between now and when they're done shipping the PS5? Because you got to remember, when the PlayStation 6 comes out, um, PS5 sales will probably end up going up because it'll be a cheaper console at that point. So I'm very interested in what the end number will be for the PlayStation unit as far as worldwide numbers are concerned. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day. It looks like Sony has been coming out talking more about their live service struggles. They've announced that things are not going very smoothly for them as far as their live service games are concerned. This comes to us from IGN, kind of a bit of a breakdown of what they got going on. We've all know the issue that happened with Concord and how that game just didn't turn out the way that they wanted, and how, excuse me guys, I'm gonna make an adjustment here. There we go. How Concord was a pretty big failure and didn't do everything that they wanted it to do, and then they also delayed the marathon game that was supposed to be released this year. I think it's been pushed to sometime in April 2026. But the more interesting thing I was thinking about from this article, well, yeah, we got people quoting stuff, and some of their more successful live service games are Helldivers 2, it seems, MLB, Gran Turismo 7, and Bungie. Two of the more interesting things from this article were how they say that they're going to get a better grip on Bungie. That being said, Bungie has more free reign that Sony gave them initially, but I guess they wanted them to deal with the game more of a business kind of sense. I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. I think Destiny 2 has done phenomenal work. Maybe they want more focus on it. I'm not exactly sure what's happening Destiny 2. I'm not in that ecosphere. So if you guys know what they're talking about in this article when it comes to Destiny 2, let me know what they're talking about, because I would love to get some more insight from you guys on that aspect. But the one that I wanted to focus on the most was some of their live service games that they had been working on, they got canceled. And I did not know this until today. It looks like one of the live service games they're working on was a God of War title being developed by Bluepoint. This was the rumored remaster for the original trilogy of God of War. So I guess that was not what we thought it was. It was, I guess, a live service game. Another one was a Twisted Metal live service game project. All these games, by the way, have been canceled or are no longer going through. So don't be excited for any of this, sadly. There was also a suggested co-op Spider-Man live service game as well, coming from Insomniac. Excuse me, guys. Still feeling a bit sick, so I have a bit of a cough. My apologies. Anyways, another one was the Naughty Dog. Probably the one that was the furthest along was the Last of Us multiplayer live service game that they were working on. So it's sad to see that they had games in development for games that I would probably be interested in. I would very curious what the live service God of War would be. Very curious in seeing what a live service Twisted Metal would look like. I think the Twisted Metal franchise is a great franchise, and they haven't really been utilized all that well as they should be. And as far as The Last of Us original multiplayer did really well. So I'm very surprised that The Last of Us 2 multiplayer didn't go through, especially if they were going to make it a live service aspect. I think that was a big missed opportunity. But I'm very curious why they canceled it. Maybe they wanted to focus on storytelling more for Naughty Dog and not so much live service. It's very curious what happened. I think they could have pushed it to another company to focus on the live service aspect of that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. Are these sad that you see these live service games not come to fruition? Me personally, while I am a little sad, I'd be interested in checking these games out. I'm more interested in some of the stories that they're telling in single player aspects for their Sony games. You know, God of War. I don't think you should make God of War a live service game. It doesn't make no sense. It's a linear story. You want to focus on Kratos and Atreus and everything being told in that story aspect. As far as The Last of Us, that one you can kind of bend a little bit and go with the live service one, but you know, who knows what they ended up doing. I can't see Spider-Man as a live service game either. I just don't think that goes. Who knows? Maybe if they had it other superheroes, maybe kind of like Marvel Rivals. But Twisted Metal is definitely good for a live service game. You know, you can introduce new vehicles, new equipment, kind of make it like what's that? Rocket League, but with more destruction and stuff like that. I do think that's a possibility. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you sad to see these live service games goes, and are you looking forward to Marathon? Or are you hoping they bring back Concord? Curious what you guys think. Let's go ahead and move on to our next game news topic of the day and our last game news topic of today. It looks like Battlefield 6 has finally released its early access for the Battlefield 6 launch, and already as of today, and probably more so now than when I grabbed this article and take a look at it, we have over 300,000 consecutive players on Steam. This is not including anything going on with PlayStation or Xbox. if it's on those platforms. But yeah, we're over here 330 consecutive players currently live on Steam. This is wild. Now, mind you, this article was earlier today, 6 a.m., so it could have updated and could have changed by now. And it even surpassed Battlefield 2042, which had 107,000 players playing currently, with to 334 for Battlefield 6. So that's wild for a beta to even beat the original game. That's so cool. The people are very excited for this game. It's a very exciting time to be a gamer and a very exciting time to be a Battlefield fan, especially with them kind of wanting to return to Forum and really focus on what they were doing originally with the original games before they really span off into doing only multiplayer aspects. Now we got a campaign, now we got a good multiplayer going on with destruction and things like that. So it's very interesting to see what they are doing over there at DICE, and I love this beta so far. I cannot wait to play it this weekend. I was gonna get the early access, but I kind of wanted to let the hype die down a bit, and I spend the time this weekend playing it. So maybe we'll get some gameplay footage and take a look at that. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Are you excited to see so many other players excited for Battlefield 6? And that does it for our game news topics of the day. We're going to go ahead and move on to our movie news topics. And our first movie news topic of the day, it looks like, sadly, we recently lost Ozzy Osbourne. But there seems to be a Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne biopic in the works at Sony. Now, this has been in development since 2001, and they haven't really gotten it off the ground. But seeing as the rock legend and the Prince of Darkness has passed recently, I seem that they really want to get this up and rolling off the ground. Now, it is a bit of a cash grab. Usually people do this when people die, but I do think it's a very interesting story to tell. Sharon and Ozzy have been through a lot together as a couple. They kind of let it known to the public, his affairs and things of that sort, and them fighting and stuff. So it'd be a very interesting romantic movie, especially if it's about both of them and not just Ozzy himself. I think it could really be an interesting story to tell. I just hope that they don't like sugarcoat things. I hope they make it more realistic to what they really had to go through. Sadly, he passed on July 22nd of this year. I think it was 76, and he did his final farewell concert, which was a phenomenal thing for him to end his life with something he loved to do, which was perform and play his music. So what a fucking legend to go out that way, only like 2 weeks after his performances have. So he left it all on the stage, you can say, and that's really wonderful. So I'd be very interested to see this story and see what their lives were like, even though if it's told from a kind of a fantastical point of view as far as a movie is concerned. But what do you guys think? Would you be interested in watching an Ozzy and Sharon biopic? Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. Looks like James Gunn is going to be directing the next movie in the superhero film and the superhero family. David Zaslav was on stage talking recently to shareholders and things of that sort, and he mentioned that James Gunn is currently working on scripting and will be directing the next super family movie. Now, the question is, what the hell does that mean, super family? Because currently they got as far as the DCU is concerned, they got Peacemaker coming out, they got Supergirl going to be coming out, they got Lanterns, they got Clayface. They're currently scripting Wonder Woman. James Gunn has recently talked about the next movie he's writing is going to heavily include Superman, but it's not going to be a Superman sequel. So I'm assuming this is the movie that they're talking about. So it's very curious what movie could include Superman very, very heavily, but not necessarily be a sequel and also be in the super family. Now, I'm not sure if Zaslav meant super family like Superman family, or if he meant super family like superhero genre family. He could be talking Batman, he could be talking Green Lantern, he could be talking Shazam. Like there's so many things he could have been talking about as far as super family is concerned. So the question is, what could he possibly be talking about? And for me, it makes sense now that James Gunn has come out with the Man of Steel Superman movie, that he kind of looks towards the future and where he wants to go, because this is all going to culminate to a Justice League film. So it makes sense for Superman to be a big part of it and for him to have a main role in it, but it not be a Superman movie. So I'm thinking it's going to be somewhat of a Justice League film. They still have quite a bit of ways before they get there. Now, mind you, he's working on writing, and James Gunn wants it. The way he's running his studio is he wants scripts to be done first before anything's announced. which is, I think, is a great way to do it because you make sure you have everything set in stone before you move forward. They already have the Supergirl movie wrapped. They're already starting to film Clayface. They're working on writing for, excuse me, for Wonder Woman, so that'll probably be coming out. And you know, you could probably fit one or two other projects that they haven't talked about in there. I know people are probably working on scripts. So if James Gunn is working on a script, it took him roughly three to 4 years to get the Superman one off the ground. You know, when did Black Adam come out? Let's see. Black Adam came out in 2002, which means it was filming in 2021, and they were trying to get, you know, people were trying to take place. So yeah, James Gunn has been working on the Superman movie for roughly 4 years. So think about it for 4 years from now, 2029, 2028 maybe, if he really has the time. Plus he's trying to run a studio. So I'm thinking his next film will be, now I don't have any insider information, but I'm thinking this next film that he's working on will be the Justice League or something of that sort, where it's a big team up movie with the group. Maybe just a society. Who knows what he ends up doing? But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think is the next movie that James Gunn will be working on in the Super family? Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Michael Bay has parted ways with Netflix's project, the Netflix project Fast and Loose. Forgive me, I cannot talk. This was going to be starring Will Smith. I guess they had Michael Bay and Will Smith had creative differences where Michael Bay wanted to focus more on the action aspect of this action comedy, and Will Smith wanted to focus on the comedy aspects. Now, I'm sure there's more to it than just that, but that's kind of what the reason creative differences for him leaving. I think this is a missed opportunity for Will Smith, and let me explain why. While Michael Bay hasn't been had the best movies out lately, he's been really focused on the Transformers, and I think he did with the ambulance movie. Michael Bay is a phenomenal director. He has some great movies out there. The Rock is one of his best films. Armageddon's a great film. The Bad Boys movies are great. That's one and two that he worked on, by the way. So yeah, he's a phenomenal director. So if he gets his hands on something and he really hits, it'll hit hard and it'll hit good and it'll be a great film. So I think Will Smith missed out on this. And the reason why I say this is because Will Smith is currently trying to get his career back up and going, and he's doing that by trying to focus on certain older films that he's been working on. We've talked about a Hitch 2 that he's working on. We talked about what's that one, Hancock 2. So he's really trying to get his older franchises and really get them up and going. It seems that Bad Boy is the only one able to get off the ground currently, so he's really trying to get his career back and going after what happened with Chris Rock. So the fact that he's working with Netflix on a Fast and Loose movie for action comedy would have been great for him to team up with Michael Bay. Would have been great for his career. But I think that being said, we're gonna have to get they're looking for another director currently. But with Will Smith being the star, I think that'll probably be hard to find, only because it's going to be Will Smith's movie, not necessarily a director. So they're gonna have to get a director that doesn't fear butting heads with Will Smith, like Michael Bay's not afraid to butt heads with him. So much so that he decided to leave the project. So let me know what you guys think. Were you sad to see Michael Bay leave this project, and are you interested in this Fast and Loose movie, or do you think Will Smith should be working on other things? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's go ahead and move on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Paramount and SkyDance have finally closed their $8.4 billion merger. It's crazy time that we're living in, seeing all these studios, these classic studios, get bought up by other companies. We had Fox being bought by Disney. We had Paramount now being bought by SkyDance. There was another one. Which one am I thinking of? HBO. Warner Brothers being bought by Discovery. So we got a lot of different studios being bought out by these other companies. So it's very interesting going on. I guess they're now going to be called Paramount, a Skydance Corporation. So be ready to see some new logos coming out soon for this company. They're going to be starting to trade stocks under the symbol PSKY. But basically what they really focused on is their CEO here was talking, and to summarize what he was saying is like, it's good taking the honor, the classics of the studio and trying to modernize it and make it good and do good to the viewers, stakeholders, and make great films and stuff like that. Hyping up, kissing everyone's ass. Usually how it goes. Hopefully he means it. Now, the thing I wanted to focus on is what Skydance is acquiring with Paramount. They have a ridiculous portfolio. They have the Transformers. They have GI Joe. They have the Mission Impossible franchise. They have what else do they got? They got so many things. I can't. They got Top Guns. They got so many franchises. Now, Paramount Studios before all this happened was not able to get everything off the ground. I want to bring up their franchises for you guys to see if we can talk about any of these. Let's see. They own Star Trek as well. I forgot about that as well. They have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they have so many things. They also got the Sonic franchise that they're working on, and others, Spy Kids, you name it. Anyways, the point being, with all these franchises that they own, they can really Skydance can really take this company and revamp it and make it in a way that is better. I'm just curious what they're going to focus on first. Now, their biggest franchise is the Transformers one. As far as I'm concerned, that's their most expensive IP, I guess you could say, with the $1 billion franchise that the Michael Bay films did. So it's very curious what they're going to do. Paramount already set their ways where they kind of dwindled their company so much that they had to actually end up selling it. So I'm very curious what this Skydance company is going to do, bringing in new CEOs, new heads of, new executives, and new structures to see what they do with the company. So it is an exciting time to be a Paramount fan. They do have a lot going on with the streaming service and things of that sort. So let me know what you guys think. What franchise or what do you think the Skydance is going to do now that they own Paramount? What are you hoping to see? I'm hoping to see a new restructuring of of the studio and them focusing on other IPs, more of their lower IPs. I think they should give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles another chance as live action. As far as Transformers, I think they need to hold off on that, or they need to stick with it and promise what they made with the GI Joe and Transformer crossover, which makes a lot more sense because when you're watching Transformers movies, you don't want to see the humans. So it'd be good to make it the humans GI Joes because then you'd be more interested in their story. And moving on to our last movie news topic of the day. It looks like the Batman Part 2 has a set filming schedule for next spring. So we've had a long wait for this Batman 2 franchise. Matt Reeves took quite some time to write this film. Now, I think initially Matt Reeves was having health issues or something like that. Nothing was ever confirmed about that as far as Matt Reeves coming out with the announcement. Um, just one second, guys. So the Batman came out in 2022, and we just got the script here in 2025. So it took him about 3 years to write the script. Now I know James Gunn was saying a lot about, excuse me, letting him take his time and getting off people's nuts and stop bothering them, and it'll be done when it's done. You want a Matt Reeves Batman film? Let him take his time and things like that. But 3 years is quite a long time to get a script done. So hopefully Matt Reeves is all right, and hopefully he's still set to direct this film. That would be very awesome and exciting. But it's great that we're finally getting things moving for a Batman film. We're not going to get this film until 2027, I believe. So that would be 5 years in between Batman films, and I don't think that's a good thing to uphold. So hopefully they're able to get something going with this franchise now that James Gunn is kind of in charge of DC movies. Now, I know this Batman's not going to be involved with the DCU. It's going to be its own separate thing, but if they want this franchise to continue moving forward, maybe they end it here with two, or they ended it with the trilogy. So hopefully they don't continue this, because I think while it's not super confusing, people are smart, it does get a little convoluted when you're trying to make multiple Batman films at the same time. So hopefully they do a trilogy and call it at that point. But we'll see what ends up happening with the Matt Reeves franchise. But are you excited to finally get to filming next spring so we can get Batman 2? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I'm very curious, what bad guy do you think he has in mind for the script? Me, I'm hoping for Mr. Freeze. Because while, yeah, it's more fantastical, I think he deserves a great on-screen presence. But I think since they kind of teased the Joker, they're gonna go the Joker route. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And yeah, and that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always, guys, remember, stay true, be odd.